2. Folks, hey, I need this today, so I imagine you need it as well. Welcome to your week. This is So Bad It's Good. We're doing a pop culture roundup. Not only is she newly married, not only does she have a hit podcast called Snark, which I urge you to check out if you have not, that deep dives internet celebrities in a sense and so much more. And this next week's episode is a very special episode that I think I will appreciate and you will appreciate more than you can ever possibly imagine. She is the one, the only Sophie Ross Brooks. Welcome back to the show.
Hi. Hey, Ryan.
Hey. Wait, by the way, I just realized the Bengals don't play for like another hour and 30 minutes. So it's pre-Bengals game.
I would have been fine with recording during the Bengals game. Like, I actually think and I texted you this. I was like, I'm like done. Like, I had never been more upset than after the Ravens Bengals game. Guys, like, I watch sports.
Hey, you know that Ravens I was like, Ray, is that a new housewife show? What?
Like, pick me, okay, boys. No, I was really upset. And then I was like, I'm done. Like, I've never been more upset. Like, my husband, it feels so weird to say, Henry can definitely attest to that. So yeah, I might not even watch. Like, I just like my heart can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm too like old, I think. Like, I don't know, it's bad for like my body, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was a little like that with the election, but I mean, probably the same if I was a sports fan. Wait, did the Chiefs play yet?
The Chiefs are playing right now, and last I saw they were losing.
Oh my God.
They're playing the Bills and they were down by like 9 last time I watched. Let's see what the score is. Guys, I know.
Guys, this is a sports show now. This is a sports politics show.
Now they're down by 2 with 3 minutes left. So I guess we'll see what happens.
That's their big thing, is pulling it out at the end though, right?
Yeah. And also they always get help from the refs. So it's like, but also,
is that really true though?
Obviously,
do they really get help with the refs?
Oh my God, it's so true. Ryan, it's so true. Trust me on this one. Okay. Trust the sporty girl you're talking to and the sports expert.
I'm in such a pissy mood that I want the Chiefs to lose, I think. Like, I just want, I
definitely do. They're so annoying. Annoying.
No, I like the Chiefs. No, I love the Chiefs. I'm a Travis Kelce fan. I love Taylor Swift, but I'm just like in that kind of pissy mood where I'm like, yeah, lose. Yeah.
Like I want everyone else to be as miserable as I am.
Exactly. That's it. Yeah. I want people to feel as bad as I do. Sorry, guys, not you guys. I want you to feel happy.
Not you guys. I want you guys to be happy, but I want like Patrick Mahomes and Brittany Mahomes to suffer.
That's already starting strong. Speaking of suffering, I watched on Friday. I saw, it's so sad. I was watching Elder Abuse. I watched this Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight on Netflix, which I'm not a sports guy. That's what I
said. Wait, I literally said that too. I was like, you guys, this is elder abuse. This is really sad. Like, someone save Mike Tyson.
Well, at the same time, like, listen, I love that we went into this kind of thinking like Mike Tyson, I hope he whoops Jake Paul's ass. But when you really think about it, Mike Tyson is almost a 60-year-old man. Jake Paul is 27, 28 years old.
Yeah.
And you like, I just think it's so like I got my hopes up, and I don't even like, it's like not Mike Tyson isn't even the most amazing guy either, but I thought it would be great to bring the country together to beat Jake Paul. And, you know, nobody, I guess, got hurt, but it was tough to watch because Mike Tyson was kind of slowly lumbering around. And then Jake Paul celebrate. How do you celebrate beating a 60-year-old man? I know it's Mike Tyson, but come on.
I know, seriously. It's like, cool, you beat up grandpa.
Like, I said the other day, I was like, Jake Paul has announced he's taking on my 76-year-old dad next year. My dad doesn't know yet, but I think it's going to be a really good fight. Like,
can you imagine? And it's like top build, no pun intended.
No, I mean, I'm just like, Jake Paul also, you guys, I mean, kudos to him for making us give a shit about this. He's like, I guess, a good showman in that sense. But at the end of the day, he does fight mainly MMA guys that don't have like a boxing career. And so he's eventually going to work up to like professional boxers, I guess. But like, I love that he's starting with somebody that was like at the top of their game in 1987, 88. Right?
Yeah, I didn't even realize when they were doing like the little montage. I was like, oh, like he's actually like really washed up at this point. Understandably, because you're almost 60. Like, I didn't realize that he literally hit his peak like in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, and he's gone through an insane career, but Mike Tyson, it seems like a gentle soul now in a sense, but did you see some of the interviews he was giving leading up to this?
Oh, with his tushy out?
Well, the tushy out was one thing, but like there was like there's this little girl who does like interviews with celebrities, and she's really
wait, I did watch that.
Yeah, I've got I'm trying to find her name here, but
where she goes, well, what about like are you worried about your legacy getting tarnished? And he's like, I don't believe in legacies. It's like, I don't believe in legacies. I'm going to be in the ground dead. I'm going to be dead. Who cares? I'm going to be dead. It's like this little like 12-year-old girl.
Yeah, she was like, who gives a shit? I'm going to be dead and gone. Who cares about my legacy? And the girl is so professional. She goes, wow, I never really thought about it like that. Like she didn't know what to say.
She like handled it really well, but also that's a great way to look at it. Like, I actually like it kind of, yeah, like it's like, who cares about your legacy? You're gonna be dead. Like, who gives a fuck? Because you think about it a lot. You're like, what is my legacy that I'm like leaving this planet with? Like, have I accomplished enough? Like, have I, you know what I mean? Like, it's a very normal thing to think about.
Yeah,
but,
no, it is.
It literally doesn't matter at the end of the day because you're just gonna be dead.
Well, here's another little quote he gave in an interview leading up. He said, "Hey, life isn't over yet. We're still fighting. We only make it out on the day of our death. There's no way I should be here talking to you right now. All my friends are dead. They OD'd, they had AIDS. Me and my friends both had sex with this girl at the same time, and they both died of AIDS. I didn't catch AIDS. Raw too." That was literally an interview quote Mike Tyson gave the week leading up to the event. It started off beautiful of like, hey, life isn't over yet. We're still fighting. And then ended with me and my friend both tag teamed the same girl. They had AIDS. I didn't catch it. Anyways, fight on. Isn't that insane?
Oh my God. Oh my God. I will say though that like I and Shannon McNamara from the podcast Fluently Forward, this was like a TikTok of hers that I saw recently. It wasn't necessarily a new TikTok. It just came across my For You page for whatever reason. But it was about how Jake Paul, like maybe like an old vlog of his or something where he wakes up at 5 a.m. every single day, goes to the gym, works out like a crazy person. And his motto is like, how bad do you want it? Because like, it's never going to be fun or easy, but like, how bad do you want this for you to like push yourself and make yourself uncomfortable? And there's something really inspiring about that. I'm like, oh my God, I really like, you know what?
Oh my God. Did you just get red pilled by Jake Paul? Oh,
I think maybe I did. And then also like, you know how Mike Tyson, I guess, like, I don't know if this was like just for the Netflix special or if it's something that he calls himself usually a natural born killer.
Yeah.
Did you see this part where he's like, I'm a natural born killer? And then Jake Paul's like, I'm a manufactured killer. Like, I built my body like this. I worked hard so I could be like this. Like, I wasn't born this way. I put in the work. I'm like,
just
you
like
know
Lady
what?
Gaga, born this way. But he wasn't born this way. He worked for it.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I'm like feeling really inspired. I'm feeling
really
inspired by JP.
This is America. This is this was Netflix's one of their first live streaming sports event, and it got over 60 million people. I mean, that's a massive number for people tuning in. And there was like a lot of lag and buffering, and like kind of like this podcast where there's kind of some audio issues. You know, there was a lot of issues with the actual stream, but 60 million. And I was talking to Sophie before this, and I was like, I mean, listen, let's have our fun with the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson stuff, but please, can this not be can this not be the new form of art? Like, I mean, is this our new entertainment? Like, is it fully Jake Paul from here on out?
Welcome to America. That's how we do around here.
Holy shit, this guy's gonna fight Biden next year. Um, so wait, did Henry watch the fight with you?
Yeah, we were annoyed. We actually did Shabbat dinner at our friends, and it started like the stream started at 8, and we were like, perfect. Like, let's just like settle in, watch some fighting. And then obviously the actual like Jake Paul, Mike Tyson didn't start until midnight. And we were like, okay, get us the fuck out of here. Like, we're so over this. We need to go home. Like, this sucks. We ended up like watching most of it, and then we're like, let's just go. Like, we're so tired.
I like that he came out. He came out with his brother in like a fancy car to the Phil Collins song "In the Air Tonight," which was also the famous scene in The Hangover that Mike Tyson played. So I thought, they were trying to like kind of get in his head. And he also, Mike Tyson, is he had a whole phase of his life where he was like feeding pigeons and taking care of pigeons. And Jake Paul came out with like a pigeon in a cage. Did you see that?
Oh, he didn't like release the pigeon. I thought he was gonna like release it.
I got scared he was gonna like eat it in front of Mike just to piss Mike off. I mean, I did like for
do
a
the
second.
Ozzy Osbourne thing.
Ozzy Osbourne, yeah. I was like, how crazy? Like, is he gonna try to get in Mike's head? And then
I would be so upset.
Mike, did you see he kept biting his glove? And I was like, oh, what is he biting his glove for? Because he had that famous fight back in the I don't know when that was, but when he fought Evander Holyfield and he bit his ear. Bit part of his ear off.
And the reason I know these things, like when Mike Tyson like bit someone's ear and Ozzy Osbourne like ate a bat, is because of shows like I Love the 90s. Remember those shows on VH1?
Oh,
like all of those pop culture moments that I wasn't like conscious for, like I know them because of shows like that.
I mean, somebody had a great tweet a couple months ago about these are the people that raised me, and it was like the best week ever people, and the I Love the 90s.
Michael Ian Black.
Oh my God. I mean, that was when I was a kid, that was like, to me, that would be the dream gig, is doing something like that. And they really haven't found a new way to do. I think pop culture moves too fast now, because you would also have to include, internet celebrities on top of like our regular celebrities, which, by the way, Snark bait, what people have you focused on these last couple of weeks? And are you allowed to finally tell us who this next week's episode is about?
So we actually just did an episode on the Oshry sisters, Claudia.
By the way, did you just see she's pregnant?
Yeah, and she just announced that she's pregnant. So catch up on that. We also talked about Brianna Chickenfry and Zach Bryan on our last episode. And our newest episode that's coming out this week is about the one and only Jason Couchy. So don't miss it.
Jax Taylor, folks. Jax Taylor.
Yeah, Jax Taylor, you guys. So don't miss it.
How could you wait? That's got to be like a 3 or 4 hour episode, because you can't.
It's really hard.
Can't squeeze Jax's life into an hour.
It's really hard. I want to know what you think. I feel like there are like so many things that I felt like I covered like the big things, but like as soon as we started, I was like, oh my God, well, I forgot about that. Like there's so much. There's so much when it comes to Jax.
You could do a whole I Love the 90s just about Jax Taylor, because there's so many different phases. You have the Sunglass Hut incident. You have all of the tattoos of like the Stassi tattoo.
The stripper in Vegas.
The stripper in Vegas. You have him potentially hooking up with Lindsay Lohan. Remember that?
Oh my God. Wait, I didn't even know that. I'm hearing this for the first time. Trump voice.
Oh my God, that could possibly be a lie, because I don't know if you focus on this at all, is that Jax Taylor is a natural born liar, not a killer. He lies about everything. Yeah, didn't mention it at all. Hate to break it to you.
The theme of the episode is that he lies, cheats, and steals his way through life. Literally.
No,
all of the
it's the opposite of Sheena's Live, Laugh, Love. It's lie, cheat, steal. Which, by the way, I was on Shenanigans this week, and we recorded it last Monday, and it was right after Sheena got herself, I guess, in a bit of trouble the week before, because she talked about Jax Taylor meeting up with Randall Emmett at his son's school, because all the kids go to the same school, and she saw Randall hugging Jax and like Jax bragging about some new cars. And so she relayed this on the podcast, and then Jax put out this thing of like anything for content, which, like, I'm so sorry. I get Jax's point, but they're all like that. Everybody in that circle does that. And also, I do think it's weird that this dude is hugging Randall Emmett after bad-mouthing him and saying this dude owes me $75,000. Men are so simple. Like, come on, give me a hug, bud. Give me a hug.
How about that interview he did where he was like, so like Brittany talks all this big game, but like behind the scenes, she's texting me, she's hitting me up. She wants to like watch a movie together. And she was like, I'm just trying to co-parent. It's called co-parenting, Jax. She's got a point. Like they should have a relationship for the sake of cruise.
I love that. Like she is probably reaching out to him to have dinner, and he's like, she wants butt sex. I know she does. That's what it is. He's like, no, I just wanted to see if you wanted to come over and eat dinner with your son and me. And you're like, think it's a hookup.
Oh my God, he's such an idiot. He just he just makes himself look bad.
But but at the same time, you also like, he's so watchable on TV. And if he talks in it, I listened to both of those interviews that you're talking about. One was with Brittany and one was with Jax, and it's done by Alex Baskin on the Bravo Hot Mic podcast. And he's also the executive producer of Vanderpump. And it's like a tale of two cities, because Brittany's interview, you really feel and empathize with her. You kind of understand what she's going through. And I'm not saying Brittany's without fault, but she makes sense a lot. And then Jax is like, there are so many inconsistencies within his own storytelling, but he tells the story really good and charming, because he's like, it's all just, I'm working on my mental health, man. I'm just like, I'm working. And then Sheena was even telling me she was there when he was rage texting from the mental health facility to Brittany. Like in this mental health facility, whatever it was, he was still able to rage text. And he kind of like deftly maneuvered the question about that in the interview, going, listen, I had just found out that she wasn't going to bring Cruz by or this or that. And I'm just like, I know it's private stuff, but they're talking about it. Also, they're on reality shows. So that's why we all talk about it.
What kind of mental health facility lets them rage text?
I think it was like a Dave and Buster's. I don't even think it was a mental health facility. I mean, like at this point, it seems like, because he was like, yeah, they'd let me go an hour a day to work out at Crunch. And I'm like, wait, like, so you can leave, you have your phone. Like, this sounds amazing.
Okay, lock him up in one of those like high security, like prison ones. Yeah. You know, that's what he needs to be in, where he can't leave, can't have his phone.
But he said he was in 8 hours of therapy. He said he had 8 hours of therapy a day. And but then when he talks it through, I was like, what are his therapists thinking when they find out that he was rage texting? And then, Sophie, he said this was like the thing that like blew me away. He said, they're like, so where are you at now? You're still working on your mental health. He's like, yeah, I see a therapist every other week. Every other week? You can't even go weekly? Weekly?
No, like even like the average person, the average like, stressed out neurotic woman in New York City goes every week. So Jax Taylor should go every week. Also, it's like
I go every week.
Yeah, therapy like is not useful to someone who doesn't tell the truth to their therapist, which he doesn't.
Well, remember that season of Vanderpump where his therapist was on the show and he lied to the therapist as well?
Like, wait, not the Reiki instructor, right?
No. This was the first season of Vanderpump when he went on and he was talking about the breakup with Stassi because they was hooking up with Laura Lee. I mean, but the same thing is like, I just wonder, like, I don't know. It's just all a mess. I don't even know, you guys. It's Jax Taylor, but he also said he's doing a new podcast. We talked about this, Mind of the Man, I think, and it's about mental health. So of course, it's kind of like Rachel Leviss in a sense. All of a sudden you want to monetize on mental health, even though you haven't figured out your own mental health and you don't even go to therapy every week. How do you think that would actually make a good podcast?
My brain is sprained.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, this is all of it. And then the ads are like, hey, if your brain's sprained like mine, try Talkspace. Use code JaxGetFucked at checkout, you know? Anyway, did you hear those rumors about Vanderpump?
I did see that like it's very up in the air if there's gonna be another season.
Well, they said that there was this one rumor that got put out last week that it's going to be a 3-week shoot in January. It'll be the final season, but everybody will come back, but for only 3 weeks because everybody has like big paychecks, so they don't want to pay everybody for a full 3-month session. I don't like when I talk to Sheena. I mean, these people have lied to my face before, but Sheena really was like, I'm definitely wanting to film again. But she was like, no, nothing has been set up or done, or I don't think that January thing, I'm excited if it happens. And she said she's down to do it, but I don't know, like what are you going to get in those 3 weeks too?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not like optimistic about it. Are
Yeah.
you?
That's well, I mean, listen, I've suffered through so many bad seasons of reality TV that it's like whatever. But obviously, Lala doesn't like Ariana. Doesn't seem to want to move on with that. Ariana is
On to
doing
bigger and
amazing.
better.
I mean, Jackson, Brittany are the Valley. Sandoval has a new girlfriend. Schwartz has a new girlfriend. I think Sandoval's girlfriend would film. Schwartz's girlfriend, I don't think seems to like to wanting to be on the camera so much. Katie has a new boyfriend. Is that new musician boyfriend going to want to film? So I don't know. There's like a lot of questions I would have of like, how do you actually? My idea, Sophie, was lock them up in Sir for 3 weeks. And then at the end, like burn it down like a funeral pyre. I mean, they can leave, they can walk out and then burn it.
Or it's like the concert from Trap, the movie.
Oh, you know what? We talked about this before, but I've now gone back to Trap a couple of times because it's so ridiculous. I've like watched
times?
Well, not like the whole way through, but I'll watch like a piece of it because it's so damn ridiculous. It's great. Oh my god! You know what we watched? Did you guys watch The Penguin yet?
No. Oh my god, I'm actually annoyed because Henry like started it without he like didn't think I would want to watch it because I usually don't like the superhero stuff, but I actually would watch it.
Oh, it's not superhero-y. It's more like Mafia, Godfather, Sopranos. And Rebecca was the same way. She was like, "You don't think I would?" And I was like, "Yeah, I didn't think this would be your thing." And then we watched it, and she loved it. And then finally, last night, I finally got her to watch The Godfather for the first. Have you ever seen The Godfather?
Oh my god, wait. She had never watched The Godfather?
I know. I was shocked. And I was like, I want you to pay attention. Like, it's important to me. And we watched it last night. And I got to tell you, that movie is still so fucking good. Like, it is so good. The time has only made that movie better, in my opinion. It's so good.
You know what movie is like better than The Godfather?
Oh, if you say some fucking Liam Neeson movie, I'm going to be upset.
Malibu's Most Wanted. I will
Jamie
say,
Kennedy's Malibu's Most Wanted. Yeah.
I will say, actually, you know how I tell everyone to watch Claim to Fame and no one ever watches it, including Ryan?
It's true on ABC.
So first of all, Freddie Mellencamp has a half brother who was on, spoiler alert, he was on this past season. And then also Marlon Brando's grandson was on this past season.
Oh my god. Marlon.
Wait, and also Ryan, when I was like, Freddie Mellencamp's half brother was just revealed on Claim to Fame, and he was like, wait. So they were like, Teddy Mellencamp is his celebrity relative, and I was like, no, it was John Mellencamp, obviously.
I got scared. I was like, wait, Teddy Mellencamp was considered the celebrity on Claim to Fame and not John Mellencamp. I really got worried for a second, but I'm so glad you brought up Teddy Mellencamp because I have not actually talked yet. And it's a big kind of story is that Freddie Mellencamp is, obviously separating and potentially divorcing her husband, Edwin, but there's like a whole scandal behind it because she allegedly cheated with her horse trainer who was married and has 2 kids. And the lady was giving birth when Teddy and the horse trainer were together. And it's like this, there was like a huge blow up at like a horse function for all you horse girls out there. You heard about this, right?
Yeah, and I mean, like, we didn't need another reason to dislike Freddie, but like, she was pregnant. The other woman, the other woman was fucked.
And there's a lot of stories out there, and this, like, the last couple of days, Page 6 and the Daily Mail have pushed the stories that, well, don't forget that Edwin cheated as well, and it was right before Teddy came on to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So I love that story was getting pushed out as well, of like, well, just remember Edwin, her current husband, cheated before. So but like, it is wild for Teddy to be messy, and she's not even on a reality show. Like, she's not even on Beverly Hills, and she's acting like she's on a reality show.
But like, also, she's probably doing this like to get her job back. They had like a pap walk with her suitcase. She was like, I'm leaving with my suitcase. Look at me.
Yeah. And she was hugging Edwin like the,
Yeah, like she's not trying to like keep it under wraps. Like she wants people to be like, oh my God, she's so messy. I need to see this play out. But like no one cares.
Well, I know that. Well, how bad is that? And I think it's just like my own personal state of emotions right now that I just like divorce is sad, but also I was like, God, I don't know. I don't know how much I care about this story. I hope everyone makes up and everybody's good in the end. Like I was just like, okay, cool. It didn't have the same excitement of a Scandival or something. I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm not even a horse rider really. So I was like, I just think it's bizarre that she bought a horse. This guy was the horse trainer. And then they had like, just imagine the flirtation that they were having that led to a relationship of like, I like you. I like the way you handle my horse. Like horse riding, like imagine, like it's all of a sudden sexy time while you're doing the horsing events.
Okay, but horse riding like is kind of sexy.
No, I'm sure it is, but just imagine Teddy Mellencamp flirting with the dude. Like imagine of like, do you like what you see when I'm riding that horse? It's
Bareback,
like it's like on Salt Lake this week when they did the newlywed game and all the guys were like, what's your favorite position in bed? And John Barlow goes, I like it when she's on top. And then he goes, I forgot to put a part bouncing. I'm like, like, what do you fucking think? We just thought like she was like just laying on top of you, just not moving
sitting there,
just soaking. You were just soaking, John. But like the thought of Teddy being sexy with her horse, I mean, to me, that is kind of like funny of like just the flirtation that, but like, why don't you stroke my mane? That kind of stuff.
Oh my God, stop.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Anyways,
what about cowgirl? Reverse cowgirl? That's what they also in Salt Lake City during the dating game. They were like reverse cowgirl.
Did you see Whitney's? Whitney's was like reverse cowgirl, 69, Dirty Sanchez, donkey punch. Like she had like a list of those. And then wait, just to put a capper on the Teddy thing, it's reportedly on Monday there's going to be a new episode of Two Teas in a Pod where she will reveal that she's on the spectrum. So I think that's going to be an interesting episode.
Oh my God.
No. By the way, how happy was Tamra that like Teddy actually got into some trouble? Like, I mean, that really takes the load off of Tamra for this like past season of OC and her comments on the podcast about being on the spectrum.
It's hard to imagine like two worse people and they just like team up for a podcast every week that like people listen to.
Well, listen,
that's what people say about us. That's what people say about us.
I know. By the way, we are the two guys. I realize how hypocritical we are because we're the two worst people. So I get it. And by the way, they're more famous and more rich than we are. So I'll give them their flowers. And I will say, Tamra, I think Tamra has a way about her, whether you like her or you hate her, that you're like, she very actively tries to engage and in a really sometimes dangerous bad way. And that can be entertaining. Not so much this season, but I wanted to go to Salt Lake really quick because I thought this past week's episode was so bizarre in the best way. What are you feeling about Salt Lake?
I mean, I love Bronwyn. I feel like I'm scared of like her having that second season like come down where everyone turns on her, and I feel like it's already starting to happen. I love her. I love how she's
Me too.
She's already like throw me to the wolves and I'll return leading the pack. Like she's already kind of like leading the pack in a way, and she has that very interesting dynamic with her husband. What's his name again? Todd,
the Todd father.
Yeah, the Todd father. So like she has that interesting, it's almost like Erica Jane and Tom Girardi kind of like dynamic where he's kind of like just old crabby and kind of like mean to her in front of people.
He doesn't give a shit.
Interesting. Yeah, but I love Bronwyn. I love Lisa. I do. I love Lisa. And a lot of people were like, oh my God, but this is like what makes Real Housewives. Like when someone's like, I haven't flown coach. What did she say?
I haven't flown coach since college. I haven't flown coach since college. I can't do it.
Yeah, like Lisa was like really fucking annoying me. And I love her. And I know that everyone's like, well, that's just Lisa. That's like what Real Housewives is all about. And I'm just like, no, because like in Bronwyn, I don't know what it was. I think Bronwyn like dragged her and was like, well, apparently she's been going around telling people how she's richer than we are. So if that's the case, she should have bought her own private plane. Apparently, she's telling people that she put a down payment on a private plane, or she should have paid for an extra night at the house if she's that rich, or she should have done XYZ, chartered her own, like borrowed her own private plane to fly home earlier. Like, really calling her out. And I'm like, that's right. Like, I feel like with the Lisa thing, like, oh, I haven't flown coach since college. It's like, I don't think you're like that rich, honey. I really don't.
That's, oh my God, Sophie, that's what I said that on the recap. I said, it's almost becoming such an issue where I actually want people to look into her finances.
Yeah.
Because and also, listen, I'm sorry. I love Wendy's, but all the constant Wendy's sponsorships, Wendy's is like, that's coached to the extreme, baby. Wendy's ain't first class. Wendy's for normies like me. And you're doing constant like fast food endorsements, but you will not sit and coach.
I'll stop you right there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wendy's and fast, it doesn't matter what tax bracket you are.
No, Wendy's is for us.
Is good.
No, fast food is good. I'm just saying, don't go around saying you have champagne taste when that is not what you have.
Yeah.
And you should be down to clown. You should be down to being coached with us normies. And the fact that it was a 45, and then also the 2 episodes ago, she's crying about her son going, he doesn't have any friends. He's alone. And then she's like, you know what? Let's take another night and go to Los Angeles so we can fly first class. And I'm like, poor Henry. I know he's got a baby. I know her sister's there watching him, but like, my God, like even John kind of like will like joke like, oh, sure, Lisa, like you're saying you just want to go to LA and not do this, LOL. And she's like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to know more about John Barlow's story now. It almost makes me so curious because I love Lisa, but I rarely agree with her. I love watching her, but like the fact that she is a real person scares the living daylights out of me.
Yeah. Yeah. And to make matters worse, it was a 45-minute flight. Like, what do you get in first class on a 45-minute domestic flight that you can't have a little extra room, maybe like a glass of white wine? Like,
you can't even get into a movie on the flight. You can't. It's
just like, I felt like he was like overcompensating. And yeah, the Henry thing. Like, I know that he sucks and no one likes him and he has no friends, but like,
no, he doesn't. Wait, I like Henry. He doesn't. Sophie, Sophie doesn't suck.
I would be so fucking, no, Henry's adorable and I want the best for him. And that's why I need Lisa to shut up and stop embarrassing him on national television. Because I would be so fucking pissed if my mom was on national TV telling everyone that I had no friends and I was unpopular. Like, you're just going to make it worse for him.
Wait. Now that I'm thinking, was Lisa Barlow at the Jake Paul fight? I feel like she was like, oh my God, I'm enjoying the Jake Paul fight with my Wendy's. This is amazing. We flew first, baby. But
wait, was she really?
No, I just feel like it feels like something she might have been at. And I do like you said, though, you're like, people are saying this is what we like about Real Housewives. There is a degree of truth to that, but it still doesn't take away from the fact of like, sometimes it's just really horrible. Like that coach thing, I was like, really? But I can't wait to see next week's episode. And by the way, what Sophie was talking about, they have a Salt Lake City after show on Peacock, and they really got into that more. And Bronwyn was saying like, let's look into her finances. If she thinks she's richer than me, that's fine.
She was like, not to like get my dick out and slam it on the table or something. Like, I love the way that Bronwyn like really paints a picture. She has like a way with words. But she was like, she's going around talking about how she's wealthier than me. So like, interesting. And it's like, I know for a fact, again, like I don't know for a fact, but I kind of feel confident that I know for a fact that the Barlows are not wealthier than Bronwyn and Todd. Like, and that's the thing. It's like it's like that saying, and I hate this saying. It's like money talks, wealth whispers. It's like Bronwyn, Bronwyn was like, I have no problem. She's like, I fly coach all the time. Like, I literally have no problem flying coach. And I'm like, I believe that from like a genuinely wealthy person being like, yeah, like who cares? Like, especially for a 45-minute domestic flight, like why are you wasting your money on first class anyway? If you're like, actually, you know what I mean?
Oh, I totally know what you mean. And also, I just wanted to mention, like with the Todd thing, that like you said, there's that comparison to Erica and Tom. But Todd, I truly believe, has made his money on the up and up. But I've known people like that, like business people.
100%.
But you know, like business people that are just always on their phone. They don't give a shit. And also they don't give a shit about like, it's nice to be treated well. But yeah, they'll go to a coach seat. It's like whatever gets them there quickest. They're just thinking about business constantly. But I was watching like the first 6 minutes of next week's episode because they release it like early sometimes. And there's a scene where Todd sits Bronwyn down and he's like, it wasn't very becoming of you to hear you fighting with the other ladies. And Bronwyn's like, but dad, you don't understand. All the other ladies are fighting as well. And he was like, well, I just think you should walk away with your dignity. And I am getting now kind of worried that I'm like, God, because you see what these shows do to people. Like, you know, we blow smoke up Bronwyn's ass because we all love her, but it also then probably causes issues in a relationship because all of a sudden Todd, I would imagine, go like, God, we had this good thing going. I don't know how subservient she was or what their relationship truly was, but it's got to be a big, new, kind of scary thing to navigate. So I wonder what's going to happen with their relationship because they're painting out Todd to be not demanding, but just kind of like
controlling
my way or the highway. Bit. Yeah, controlling. That's it.
And the way he talks to her, like literally like that, where he's just like, it was unbecoming of you, like how a dad would talk to a daughter.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting because I feel like he didn't maybe fully understand what they were signing up for. And now he does. And like, maybe like he won't want her to do the show anymore, which like, please, Todd, please let her.
Todd, we need this. I can't take another Jake Paul fight. I need Salt Lake City, please.
We need this. We need this after the reality Von Tease of it all. Like Bronwyn, like we're not even thinking about Monica anymore because Bronwyn's so great. Like,
did you see the mid-season trailer where Meredith was like, there was a recording device in my room? Like somebody like secretly recorded Meredith in her room.
I must have missed that. There was a lot happening. There was a lot happening.
No, that was in the mid-season trailer that they played at the very end of this week's episode.
Yeah. But also like Mary, I guess, Robert Jr. I know that was really dark and really sad to watch, but I guess he ends up going to rehab.
Well, yeah. Oh no, Sophie, I did a story on this, like in one of my recaps. He had to go to a rehab, like police pulled him over. Like there's like fentanyl. There was a lot of different drugs. And what you're watching, you guys, is active drug addiction. And so that's like really sad. And I'm glad that Mary is going to share a little bit of that, I guess, in the back half of the season. But it kind of makes you empathize with Mary because you're watching this mom go through something. And she's like, listen, I spoiled my kid. I gave him everything he wanted. And now I want him to come back. And that the wife girlfriend with the over blushing of the cheekbones, she looked like Miranda Sings.
Oh God, it was hard to watch.
Anyways, what did you think of Proof, biatch?
Seth was like I wasn't. So I feel like a lot of people are like, oh my God, he basically called her a bitch, and I was like, I don't see it like that. I just think that Seth is really cringy, and I've always thought that. I think he's really cringy and really corny. But
I love.
He was right. He was right. Like,
yeah, but over the yelling, "Proof, biatch!" Like it was just so funny because Meredith is always at like a -10. Like, yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. And Seth is always like amped up. I got to go back to Columbus, Ohio for Big Lots. I got to get out of here.
And Angie goes, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
He goes, yeah, you got it. Yeah. All right, yeah.
Yeah, Seth is just like cringy and corny and always trying to like have like a funny moment, and it's like never funny, it never lands. So that's kind of how I interpreted that. But yeah, I mean, he proved Whitney wrong.
Yeah,
so.
he proved Whitney wrong. And I'm sorry, there's so many little like parts of that Salt Lake episode. I keep going back to that sexual positions because Angie flipped her board around and it said from behind, and then she drew a Greek flag for some reason, and she was like, the Greeks invented doing it from behind. Like, wait, what? Is that what? Is that true?
Also, it's like, yeah, like I bet he likes it from behind.
Shut Sophie,
I'm
don't.
sorry.
I don't even, I didn't even use that joke on my recap. I thought it, but I didn't use it. Okay, so Salt Lake going full steam ahead. Well, listen, I'm interviewing, guess who I'm interviewing Abe from RHONY this week.
Oh, nice. Nice. Congrats.
I'm going to ask him how he feels
Abe.
about letting that Bitcoin go after the surge in Bitcoin this past 2 weeks.
Oh my God, stop. That's like a sensitive subject. But yeah,
No,
you
they
should
said
ask him.
his manager said he's anything's on the table. And Erin, his wife, they just announced they're pregnant again. But what did you think of this past week's RHONY? Because I finally got to watch it, and there was a whole pregnancy like joke that Rebecca Minkoff was like pregnant, but they didn't reveal it was a prank until the very end. And I'm like,
It was
what are
so
we even?
bad.
What are we even doing here? Where did that prank come from? Did the producers put them up to it? I mean, already the show is like tepid, and for you to like, I don't know, man. That was such a weird bit.
That was like the final straw, I feel like, for a lot of RHONY viewers this season. Like, people were like really mad. It was like, why did you just waste an hour of our time? And I think I didn't watch What Happens Live after, but it sounded like Andy was kind of mad too, where he was just like, I don't like pranks. Like, it was bad. It's like there's so little going on that you guys have to like make up a storyline and like admit that it was a prank. Like, you're not even trying to like actually act like this is real. Like, you're literally trying to like, you're wasting our time, basically.
Well, I find the characters like I think I like everybody on RHONY. Like I do like everybody on RHONY. It's just that there's nothing happening, and so it's like, oh, it's like a good background show. But I don't like. I think Uba's funny. I mean, like they all have a Jessel.
I will say I do like Erin a lot, even though I know some people don't.
But I liked Brynn last season, but I don't know, man. Something with Brynn, it just seems like she really dislikes so many people on the show.
I feel like she's, and this was kind of like emphasized a little bit when it showed her telling Rebecca a couple episodes ago to like react. She's like, you should react. Like, she's trying to like make a show. I think that's how she rationalizes it. She's like, well, I'm trying to stir up drama and the viewers are going to like it. But when it showed the flashback of her literally like she was like, Jessel, Jenna called you basic. And then it shows the flashback and Jenna's like, I don't think Jessel's basic at all. Like, she's literally lying, like making shit up. Like, that's not
the rules of the game. Like, that should not be allowed at all.
But I think she rationalizes it by being like, I'm putting on a show. But it's like, yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like the cast is like individually, I like a lot of these women and they should, in theory, like be entertaining. But I think that like they're too normal. Like, they're all just like normal. Like, Erin, I could literally just like have a drink with and she'd be like, yeah. Like, yeah.
Well, it's like your girlfriend. It's like your girlfriends, your actual friends.
Yeah, like they're all just like, it's like, it's what I say about like Paige DeSorbo on Summer House. Like, she's just like too normal. She's not like a Kristen Doty, a Lindsay Hubbard, like chaos energy. Like, even like Lisa Barlow, Ramona, like there's no like chaos agent. I think that Brynn is trying to be a chaos agent, but it's not. But that's not like who she is.
But listen, I mean, I'll stand up for Paige in that sense, because Paige, I think, actually is funny in a talking head, but also Paige can have those moments where she's aware enough to be able to nail a person against the wall, like she did with Kyle this past season on Summer House, of like, oh, your wife comes crying to me. Is that cool? Is like she nailed Kyle. So like, at least if you're kind of normal or somewhat basic, if you have those moments, I just think that actually is very different than what we're seeing. And also, what is your, like with Jessel and Pavitt, like, he doesn't want to have a kid. Like, shouldn't that be in the end of the discussion? Like, shouldn't that be it?
Yeah, it should be. You would think. Yeah, and even like Jessel, like I know that she was kind of like the standout last season. I really like Jessel, but it's just like everyone is just like boring. Like, everyone's boring.
But you know what? I watched it. I got through it. Like, I mean, it was fine. Like, it was fine. I just know it can be better than this.
Like, I'm not going to quit on it because I do like weirdly enjoy it. And I think it's because of those like individual personalities that I like. Like, I do like Jessel. I do like Erin. Even like Sai is entertaining this season. I mean, entertaining, like that Word is doing
Yeah.
a lot of work. Jenna Lyons, love. Like, I like their individual personalities. They just do not mesh together as a cast, and they're too normal.
Yeah, I mean,
That's like
I'm curious.
that's my problem with. Yeah, that's like literally the only way I can explain it. It's like you can't have that many normal people on a cast. Like it's okay to have like again with Summer House, like with Paige, like we have a normal person, but then we also have like Lindsay Hubbard, Kyle, like Carl, like the chaos agents. Like we don't have a chaos agent on Roony.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, is Brynn turning herself into a chaos agent by trying to actually produce the show? But you
I
wouldn't
think
see
she's
that until the
trying
third
to, but that's
season.
not inherently who she is. Like I think that she's
Yeah.
like trying and it's not landing and it's like very inauthentic. And we know you're lying to stir up shit and you're telling Rebecca Minkoff how to react. And it's like you're trying to produce the show, which viewers don't like, you know?
But guys, if you don't watch Roony, and you probably don't, the whole joke was that Rebecca Minkoff and her husband are swingers, and that's a normal thing that everybody knows, and that she got pregnant by another man, and they're keeping the baby. That was the prank. That was the prank was, and then it was like such a weird prank to begin with, because like usually pranks are like, oh, like put a whoopee cushion right here or something. And the prank is like, let's say that Rebecca Minkoff is a swinger. Like the Scientologist is going to shut that shit down immediately.
And they were like, I think maybe they were trying to see like how fast the gossip would spread and who would spread it and like blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, it doesn't matter. Like, no one cares. Like, Brian obviously spilled the beans right away. Sai was going around talking about it. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like,
So guess what starts on Tuesday? We have the new season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Oh, yeah. And they've been playing, Bravo has just been like playing old seasons like all week. And it's getting me really excited.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Dorit's done a couple of interviews where she even came for Sutton in one of them, where she was talking about like plastic surgery, or Sutton's like, well, I'm sure you got plastic surgery, and Sutton kind of said something of like, well, if everybody gets plastic surgery, Sutton can afford plastic surgery. Why doesn't she get it? Like kind of inferring that Sutton is not the best looking person out there and she should be able to afford to look better. I think, but Dorit's in a different headspace. Obviously she has issues with PK in the very beginning. The separation is in that first episode that you're going to see on Tuesday. But like, you would think that she was married to Kyle, because the Kyle Dorit relationship is the one that seems like a breakup. Like Dorit seems like she hates Kyle out of the gate.
Ooh, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for this. Wait, did you see that Dorit and PK's house in foreclosure?
Foreclosure. Yeah, they didn't pay the last like 3 months in bills, I think.
Yeah, it's not good.
I don't need to pay it. I'm not going to pay it. I'm like Jen Pedronti on OC. I don't need to pay it, baby. Dorit, when she starts dating, who gets custody of Boy George in the divorce?
That's a great question. Like I hope they address that.
Do you think PK and Mauricio, now that they're both single men, do you think they've had like a foursome? Like, do you think they've like college dorm room kind of stuff going on now?
You know what? I wouldn't put it past them. But also, like, if I were in a foursome with PK and Mauricio, I'd be like every time PK would get near me, I'd be like, ugh! I'd be like, get him off of me, Mo.
Yeah, that's what
get him off. Make him turn around.
There's a PK Mauricio scene in the first episode of the premiere, and I just like the thought of them like hanging out as like, hey, we're men on the town, two hot men. And then every time they talk to women, they only want to talk to Mauricio. Hey, I'm over here, ladies. All right. You almost feel bad for PK in that sense, because I would never want to hang out with Mauricio, because the girls would only want to talk to Mauricio, right?
Oh my God.
I hate that's kind of mean.
I mean, it's true.
You know what? I was super pissed off at this. I don't know if you had any emotions about this, but it's one of those things. Like, I just feel like we've all needed a win this last couple of weeks. I'm sure if some of you had a win, but some of the we need a win. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, people's sexiest man alive. Like, I don't even really care who the sexiest man alive is, but I was like, I hope it's somebody good. And then they fucking give it to John Krasinski. No offense to John Krasinski. He's a very attractive man, but I just didn't see that coming at all. I thought it was going to be Paul Mescal or Glenn Powell or give it to Denzel Washington because he has Gladiator coming out. Did you see John Krasinski as the sexiest man of this year?
Yeah, I actually put money down on that like betting app. No,
I bet on Polymarket.
No,
yeah,
he's not even relevant. Also, like, okay, so look, people's sexiest man alive, it's always going to be someone who has the time to like have like a photo shoot.
Yeah.
And also like it's more like commercial. Like it's kind of like, oh, like who's this actor who like it's yeah, like it's never gonna be like Timothy Chalamet. I heard actually that they were trying to get it to be Glenn Powell, who declined. But it's like kind of that thing where it's like that A-list actor, like Ryan Gosling or whatever. It's like they don't have the time. They don't care about this title. They don't want to do your stupid photo shoot. Like it's just below them. So it's always going to be someone who kind of like orchestrates it or pays for it, or it's like PR. But it's like, first of all, what is he promoting? And there was that like Demois thing where it was like this A-list actor, which also, again, A-list, debatable, but it was like this A-list actor knows his star is fading or like his relevancy is fading. And like he's putting a lot of money. He's paying over $1 million to get this title. But like imagine paying like $1 million for this. And then the entire internet is like, ew.
No, that's like legitimately the worst nightmare I can imagine of like getting a title like this, which is already kind of goofy, and then people hating it. Like, cause you want people to be like, fuck yeah, that dude's sexy. Hell yeah. And then everybody's like, what? No, 2024. We can't keep, we keep losing.
Like Blake Shelton a couple years ago, John Legend, like people were like, what are you talking about? You know? But
Betty Blanco was in that too.
Oh my God, Betty.
Well, because they did like a sexiest sexiest podcast or sexiest this, and Benny Blanco did an interview and a photo shoot. I mean, Benny Blanco was like, "Listen, I'm a really clean guy, but yeah, no, I don't shower every day." And I was like, way too honest, Benny. Do not be that. You don't need to be. We don't need to. Why would we even need to know that? Why would you ever just feel like you need to tell People magazine that sometimes you don't even shower every day? Like,
oh my God.
But by the way, I will say Benny Blanco, if I look at pictures, I'm like, but if I hear him talk or do, I can see his charm. I can see how he's charming.
You can see the vision.
Yeah.
I can't personally. But with John Krasinski, like he is an attractive guy.
Yeah.
Like he's obviously attractive, but like the promotional videos where he's just like, it's like trying to act all like bashful. Like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like in one of the promotional videos, he's like, guys, can you believe, I can't believe it either, but I guess I'm sexiest man alive. Can you believe that? It's like, you paid for this.
No, I don't believe he paid for it. I find that hard to believe that you would legitimately spend $1 million or the people behind you. I don't know.
See, like, I'm not saying that like it's a fact. That is just what, you know, that Demois thing was. And it's obviously something like, it's very like PR. Yeah. It's tied to PR. It's someone who wants to promote something. I didn't read it. I don't know like what he's promoting. And I also know he's getting more into like directing with like the Quiet Place movies. Like, I don't know why if anything, it's like, it just like diminished his star power. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you think this worked against him completely?
It totally worked against him.
Yeah, because if he's going into directing, and it's not like Steven Spielberg was ever like, consider me for sexiest man alive. Like he's never even probably inquired about it.
Wait, did you see? It was like Leonardo DiCaprio's like 50th birthday or something. And it was like all the people getting like papped. It was like so like reminiscent of like early aughts, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like, who was it? There was like Paris Hilton, there was like Casey Affleck, and there was Steven Spielberg, and like literally like several 80-year-old men. And I was like, oh my God, you got the grandfathers to like go to your birthday party in like the Hollywood Hills.
DiCaprio bridges the gap between old Hollywood and new Hollywood. And the funny thing is, like, all we know about DiCaprio that's bad is that he dates 25-year-olds. Like, he's kept everything, even his own like image. He's always in the Page Boy news cap. He's always got the COVID mask on. You know, like we've seen like certain videos where they'll catch him like dancing like a goof. But other than that, he's been able to keep it kind of insulated. By the way, I bet one of Diddy's worst nights in jail so far was missing out on that party. He's like, oh, I'm missing my boy Leo's 50th. Because you know Diddy would have loved to have been there.
Did you see that Diddy has been trying to like intimidate witnesses from behind bars?
And he's doing it, you guys, through reaching out to other prisoners and having the prisoners use their phone time to contact his people to intimidate witnesses and the jury pool. So this Diddy is like super smart. So he knows all of his phone calls are being recorded. So he's paying off other prisoners to use their phone time allegedly to intimidate witnesses and to get messages out. It's kind of brilliant.
Put him in solitary confinement. Put him in the same padded room with Jax Taylor at whatever facility. Just like get him like he's like so dangerous. Like put him away.
Bad boy for life. Yeah.
He just needs to be like in solitary. Which by the way, I finally watched the Martha Stewart.
What did you think?
Documentary, which was amazing. Have like so much more respect for her now. And I did not know that she was put in solitary at one point in jail.
Yeah. Yes. It's because there was a prison guard, you guys, and she kind of touched the prison guard, like to like look at her earrings or something. Like Martha Stewart was like, oh, I like what you're wearing
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she got put into solitary. Like you can never touch a person that works here ever again. And just to think of Martha Stewart in solitary, like Robert De Niro in Cape Fear, like doing push-ups, you know, and like giving herself a prison tattoo. Like, I mean, it is wild. I mean, if you watch that documentary, it was so ridiculous why she went to prison in the first place.
Oh my God. I cannot believe that.
Oh, the Daily Mail had a ridiculous story where they said one of Martha's prison friends gave an exclusive interview to the Daily Mail saying that Martha and her became best friends in prison. And Martha told her before she left out, she says, I will take care of you for the rest of your life. She says Martha Stewart said this, and then Martha Stewart has not given her any money since. And so they had this lady show up to a Martha Stewart event and go, Martha, it's me, Lisa, Martha. And they're like, Martha looked up and then looked away, clearly ignoring her best friend from prison. It is like, Daily Mail is such trash. Like anybody can say anything, but I do not believe that Martha Stewart ever said to somebody behind bars, I'll take care of you for the rest of your life. It wasn't fucking like Daddy Warbucks, you know?
That would be me though. That would be me. If I'd be like, yeah, you're going to like help me pay off my mortgage, right? After this, like we're friends now.
Yeah, we're friends for life. But I mean, God, so ridiculous. Okay, a couple of other things. The Oscars, there was a rumor that Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman were going to host the Oscars. Thank God that is not true. It is Conan O'Brien. Conan O'Brien will be hosting the Oscars for the first time, which I think is kind of a good choice.
No, I like this choice. Look, as long as it's not Jimmy fucking Kimmel again, we're good. Okay.
Wait, I don't mind. I thought Jimmy Kimmel was fine at the Oscars. I didn't mind. By the way, what about Jimmy Fallon?
Every year, Ryan, he hosts them every year.
Yeah, but he said he's done, and now Conan O'Brien gets to do it.
Good. Let him be done. I'm so sick of his ass hosting the Oscars every fucking year. Like, find someone else. Okay.
It's a thankless job. It is a thankless job.
No, like it actually pisses me off. Like, don't even get me started. Like every time they announce Jimmy Kimmel as host, like I actually like want to die. It makes me not want to watch it because like I'm so
I thought you had bones with Jimmy Fallon. I didn't know you had issues with Jimmy Kimmel.
No, Jimmy Fallon and I are cool. Okay. Let's just set the record straight. We're good. We're good now. Okay. We weren't always good, but we're good now. But also Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, thank God. Oh, also, did you hear about Hugh Jackman
and Sutton Foster
leaving with Sutton Foster, who you guys, she's like a Broadway star, but she also was the star of the show Younger that I am obsessed
always
with.
Talk about this show.
Oh my God, it's so good, you guys. It's another Darren Star show. So it's like if you like Sex and the City or Emily in Paris, it's like that really like just like mindless, silly, girly, fun show. And she's on that with Hilary Duff. I mean, it's over now, but that was that show she was in with Hilary Duff. And she's amazing. But I guess they were having an affair. She was married And he obviously was married for
He
a
was
really long
married too.
time. And now they're leaving their spouses to be together.
This Hugh Jackman really is attracted to talent because Sutton Foster, you guys, if you don't know younger, she is kind of one of the queens of Broadway. Like she's on Broadway right now on Once Upon a Mattress, I believe, but she's one of those people that's like a big name on Broadway. And Hugh and her did a musical before, and they've been really close friends. And like, it's so fun. Like Hugh Jackman, like, cause she's a beautiful woman, but she's not like, it's not like oozing sex. You know what I'm saying? You know, wait, is
you
that
haven't
bad?
watched Younger Then. You haven't watched Younger Then.
Wait, are we thinking about the same Sutton Foster? Because she looks like she's like a beautiful woman, but she's like regal.
She's like girl next door, but she's like beautiful. She's not like
I'm gonna take heat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take heat on this one. Shit. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sure she's
what you want her you want her to be like Bryn and be like, balls in your face.
Yeah. Put it in me, Hugh. Hey, where's your Wolverine claws? Oh my god, don't put your claws on my vagina. Oh my god. Do you think you're gonna double date with Ryan Reynolds and what's her name?
Blake Lively.
I mean, I bet
their friendship is like genuine. Oh, wait, also, wasn't there that like Martha Stewart quote about Ryan Reynolds not being funny?
Yes, and I don't get, he's my neighbor. I don't find him very funny.
He's not funny. Like he's just not funny. And Ryan like replied to this viral tweet about it with something. He was like trying to make a joke that also wasn't funny. And I will say, like, I have said this for a long time that like I'm not a Ryan Reynolds fan. He plays the same kind of like, oh, you're so quirky. Oh my God, you're like good looking, but you're also like quirky. Like, oh, please.
Well, listen, I mean, his delivery, I think, is like really like, it's very sitcom delivery. And I mean that as a compliment, but sometimes it's the same thing over and over again. I don't have an issue with Ryan Reynolds at all, but it is funny. You can't go up against somebody like Martha Stewart. You're not going to be able to get a good comeback off a Martha Stewart tweet saying that you're not funny, but he did. He gave a comeback, and then Hugh Jackman jumped in and goes, this is what I've been trying to tell people all along, because the big joke is that him and Ryan Reynolds hate each other, even though they're BFFs supposedly. So Hugh Jackman kind of saved Ryan Reynolds' ass with that comeback. But also Ryan Reynolds, like, he probably isn't funny, but he's just like a really hard worker, kind of like brainiac advertising guy. Like he makes everything a really good. He's kind of like the acting version of Jake Paul. Is that fair?
Yeah. You know what? I'll give him that.
Wait,
sure.
A couple more things. Do you have a little bit more time? I wanted to talk about Snark bait really quick.
I got nothing better to do.
Perfect. By the way, she's only 3 weeks married, folks, and she's already at that point. Got nobody to come home to.
Henry and I got in like our first married fight today because we had this, like, if you know the brand Smeg, they're the really like
Smeg?
It's called Smeg. I know it sounds like smegma, but like, you know, if you're like a girl or like you're into like appliances or whatever, they have really sleek, gorgeous like appliances. So like I had like a matching like mint green Smeg toaster oven with a matching like mint green blender, and the blender sucked. Don't buy. I like the toaster. The Smeg blenders are terrible. Basically non-functional, would like leak every time we used it. So we just like stopped using it, but it looks so pretty. Like it's so pretty. Yeah. And we got a Vitamix from our wedding registry, which is gonna be great. I'm so excited to use it, but it's like an eyesore. Like it's not like pretty like the Smeg. And I came home from lunch with my friend today, and Henry had thrown out the Smeg because we never used it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, I'm with Henry on the fact that, Vitamixes are fucking awesome. They're high quality, they're amazing, but you don't, oh God, I wish I had talked to Henry before you did this. You don't throw out something without extreme permission from the other person. Like, you just don't. I mean, like, even if, because I think it eventually should be thrown out, but you don't do that without, I mean, like, that is a real big faux pas. Like that, God, I want to be on Henry's side and I can't.
I know. And he was like, we never used it. It didn't work. And I was like, well, it's not about that. It's about the aesthetics.
Yeah. But also, it's not even about that. It's about, you got to get permission from your partner before you throw it out. Like that's God.
He knows that now. And
what a rookie. Like, what is this guy? First time married? What a rookie.
First time understand?
Yeah,
But also like
geez.
especially if you're, I feel like it's probably just like, especially if you're in a heterosexual relationship. And I know like me and
Gross.
like a lot of my girlfriends, like we get kind of like attached to like physical things. Like I'm not saying I'm a hoarder at all.
Yet.
I'm not a hoarder, but like I do get like attached to like that, you know, whatever it is, like a sweater that I haven't worn in years, but like I just like attach memories to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, I get that.
It's like physical objects for some reason. Like I'm just like, wait, but that's like my emotional support Smeg blender that doesn't work, you know?
So what did we come up with a solution? Did he go dig it out of the trash, or is it?
Wait, he looked in the trash room. They had already taken it out of the trash room because we live in like an apartment building in New York City.
Yeah.
They'd already taken it. Then he went downstairs to like be like, where do you put the trash? Like, I need to get something that I accidentally threw away. They had already like, it's already gone. It's already in the landfill somewhere.
Wait. Or I hate to present this theory. What if he told you they said it's already in the landfill, but
Or
he
it was like
I did
still
what I
sitting in
needed to
our,
do.
it was still sitting in our trash.
Wait, you know what you should really do to piss him off? For Hanukkah, ask for that blender again.
Oh no, I told him, I was like, well, you're getting me a new one. He was like, it sucked. It wasn't good. I was like, but it's pretty.
Yeah. No. Oh my God. This is a sitcom. And wait, what do you, sorry. So I know you did a Brianna Chickenfry, Zach Bryan episode on Snarkbait, and I talked about it a little bit here last week, but I wanted to say there was an update today because Brianna Chickenfry did a TikTok and was like, you want to keep posting pictures of my cat? If you like slinging my cat around, I'm going to start posting video of you slinging shit at me. Did you see this?
I didn't see this. Oh my, she should.
It's like a 10-second TikTok, but literally saying, so this Zach Bryan has their cat or her cat, and he keeps posting pictures or like social with it and making her like go crazy. And it's like, if you're going to keep doing that, I'm going to start releasing video of you fucking being a loon and throwing shit at me.
She absolutely should.
Yeah. Go look at that TikTok right now. It's like right there on, cause our good old buddy Dave Portnoy was like, release the video, release it.
Oh God. He sounds like a really, really, really shitty guy. To put it mildly. But also, and I said this also on Snarkbait, and I think some people may have taken offense to it. I was like, well, there are no like winners between Zach Bryan and Dave Portnoy. Like they're both pieces of shit. Like fuck Dave Portnoy. I feel like some people are like now on Dave Portnoy's side. I'm like, we always forget about the abuse allegations that have been lobbed against Dave Portnoy. Like, I hate that like no one talks about them anymore.
Well,
like, and I think people were upset about how hard I was on Dave Portnoy. I'm like, I'm always going to be hard on Dave Portnoy. Just because Zach Bryan sucks doesn't mean that Dave Portnoy suddenly doesn't suck, you know?
Well, it's like there are so many things that I'll admit there are so many things that I like about Dave Portnoy, and then there's a bunch of things that I hate about Dave Portnoy, and that's really conflicting for me. Like, like that's conflicting, and like, listen, I'm an old dude, but I'll sit there and go, I like this, and then there are other ways of like, yeah, but it just shows how fucked up us men really are. But also, he did a solid for his friend Brianna because she wouldn't have been able to handle this to the level that it had gotten in terms of like, turning down this $12 million offer. But then Dave Portnoy this week, and I don't know how true this is, said that he's going to leave the BFF pods at the end of the year because half the time he doesn't even know who the fuck they're talking about. And I'm like, I get what he's saying, but like, this is a cash cow for him. Is he really going to leave the BFF?
He should though. It's like, and I talked about this on Snarkbait too, how like he's literally like what 45? He's like pushing 50.
He's a perfect age, Sophie. How dare you even say anything of that nature?
No, but my point is that his co-hosts, Brianna Chickenfry, and then what's his name? Josh Richards.
Josh?
I mean, excuse me if I'm getting the name wrong. Josh Richards, whatever.
That
Josh
little
Richards
cute
is.
Josh guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's cute, but like he's like 24, whatever it is, and they're always talking about like 17-year-old TikTok drama. Like, I get it. I feel like Dave realizes that it's weird, and I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
Yeah, it is. But I just thought, wow, I don't know enough about the BFF pods, but I just thought it was really like Dave is such a huge part of that. So I was a little shocked, but also Brianna said this on the podcast, and I watched these clips. I don't listen to the podcast, but I really agreed with her is that at the end of the day, this isn't going to destroy Zach Bryan's career at all. Like it's already took off. And also people don't truly give a shit about like people, we all say we care about like how women are treated or whatever, you know, but at the end of the day, it's not going to, like, he's still going to sell out stadiums. People are still going to listen to his music, and girls are still going to throw themselves at him, even though we now have like a whole pattern of him doing the same thing to everybody, right?
Unfortunately, yes, you're correct.
But Brianna even realizes that, you know, so it's like, I'm glad she didn't take the money that was offered to her, but she's also correct in saying it's not like long-term going to affect his career, because we have a pattern as a people. And I don't believe this is cancel culture, so don't come at me with that. Like, but we always, like, everybody's like, oh, this person's canceled. This person's canceled. Nobody's canceled. Nobody, they go through a rough period of time for their own behavior, and then they either course correct and they come back. But like, the thing is, you got to watch, because, you know, there's like Bill Cosby's of the world that kept repeating the same type of behavior towards women and eventually had to go to prison for it. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just messed up.
You're totally correct. And also just like men, bad men in general will always get more forgiveness than women. So it's like,
well, do you think that's because we come from mothers? I mean, do you think that's because we all are, you know, you know, women had us, so they will always feel an empathy towards us? Or what do you think that comes from?
I don't know. I think it's just because we live in a patriarchy, in a misogynistic society, and people want to hate women at any chance they get. But like, if you're a man, you can get away with shit more.
Yeah.
Not always.
No, I mean, 100%. I mean, even Armie Hammer is back. Armie Hammer has his podcast now. He just got cast in his first movie. Like, there's no real long term. It's just that these people have to suffer through a lot of people making fun of them. Like, you know, Zach now has to suffer through that, but he's at such a level that I just don't know really, does anybody truly care? His music actually got bumped. It's like Diddy. Diddy was arrested. He had a huge streaming week on Spotify that week. Like, it finally like brought him back to Spotify.
Exactly. He's going to be just fine, unfortunately.
Real quick, I don't know what you're thinking about in starting a family, but Megan Fox is pregnant. She revealed she is expecting a baby with Machine Gun Kelly. Did you see this?
Yeah. In the announcement, picture of her like covered in soot, oil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very interesting choice. But yeah, good for her. I guess they suffered a miscarriage before. So yeah, good for them. Good for them. I can't wait to see what they name it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be like paper mache or something like that.
Yeah.
Lastly, just to turn you really upset, what do you think about Kim Kardashian's new Skims campaign, where she brought in the Love Dolce Vita life with Kourtney Kardashian? Did you have any opinions on this at all?
Oh, I mean, I thought they look great. Like, I thought they looked great. I'm not going to like go buy it. Isn't it a collab with Dolce & Gabbana?
Oh, sorry. I thought it was a Skims collab. Yeah, you're right. Dolce & Gabbana. So yeah.
Yeah. So Dolce & Gabbana sucks for a lot of reasons. The designers behind Dolce & Gabbana have said really horrible things about like Chinese people and even gay people, and they're just known as being really bigoted and awful. And a lot of celebrities like don't partner with them anymore or wear them on the red carpet for that reason. But no, I guess not.
Yeah.
Not when it comes
to him. My whole thing was I saw it and I was like, yeah, that's cute. I'm really curious what the Kardashians' next move will be, because I don't know. Like, I've not been excited about a piece of Kardashian news in a long time. And that was like kind of more of my thought of like, wow, we're just like, I'm finding it hard the last couple of weeks to really care about anything. And I was like looking at more pictures. I'm like, so just until the day we die, we're just going to see pictures of the Kardashians forever? Like, is there ever going to be anything different at this point? Like, what's the next step? I know Kim wants to be an actor, but where are we going here if you're a Kardashian?
That's a great question. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, it's like we always say it, it's like they're fading from relevancy. And I think it's like almost like a slow fade. Like, it's not like they're ever going to be like irrelevant. Like, they're always going to be relevant. But it's almost like no one cares anymore, and there's nothing interesting going on with them. Like, there's just nothing nothing to care about. And like you said, it's like it's hard to care about anything lately, but like I don't know, there's just nothing to even like talk about with them. It's like, oh, Kendall got blonde hair.
Yeah, or
You
like
know, she's
Kylie
actually
had paparazzi shots with like library glasses,
Oh
and I
my
was like,
God.
okay,
Like,
cool, that's
okay,
amazing.
cool.
Okay, so this week, Snark Bait, you have Jax Taylor. Last week, you had Brianna Chickenfry and Zach Bryan. Oh, shit. Wait, one day, I don't know if this would be too. This is actually a positive story, and you love John Mayer. If you want positive news, you guys, John Mayer, I
Oh
love this
yeah.
story, actually. He bought him and director Mick G. They joined forces to buy historic Jim Henson studio lot for $60 million. And I live in LA, and Jim Henson Studios is right there on La Brea, and you pass it. I've passed it like every day for like 20 years. And it's a really cool place that Charlie Chaplin initially made. And it changed hands like a couple of times and then went to the Henson Company. And there was a rumor, or it was close to, that the Scientologists were going to buy it, the Scientology Corporation. And now John Mayer is buying this with Mick G. And that kind of, I don't know, I love that. I think John Mayer has a good appreciation for, I don't know, history. And I like these things need to stay relevant in some way. And I kind of was like, that warmed my heart, because I was like, good. I want it to be in the hands of somebody that actually gives a shit about like the past and pop culture of the past.
I love it too. And I told you guys, John Mayer, for all of his faults and former past lives, whatever it is, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy, but isn't that it, Sophie? Is that we all do really bad things, and hopefully we do way more good things than bad things, and hopefully your bad things isn't physically harming or sexually abusing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all going to hurt people. We're all going to do these things, but hopefully the good you can do out there in the world can outweigh that bad. Because I mean, that's the thing is, like, we're so quick to like, even like to, I don't know. It's like Housewives. You love them one season, you hate them the next.
I don't care about legacy. I'm going to be dead in the ground.
Yeah. One time I raw dogged with 3 people and they all died of AIDS. So how about that? Keep on fighting. Hey, keep on fighting, baddies. What are you watching this week, Sophie? Anything to
oh my God.
Anything?
So I was telling Ryan this before we started, but I finally watched The Substance, and I cannot stop thinking about it. And like, I'm not a huge like horror, especially body horror. Like, I'm extremely squeamish. Like, I don't like body horror in general, but like the message of just the movie itself was so good. And it was like very like, there were like,
it's graphic though. It is body horror
graphic.
to the extreme.
You will not stop thinking about it. And like, if you're a woman, especially, like I just like highly recommend it. If you can stomach, a little bit of body horror.
Not a little bit. There's a lot. I mean, there are scenes, with the coming out of the back and then and then at the end, it is like, it is so, but it's
also very beautifully, it's beautifully shot. Like, there are a lot of like Kubrick like influences. Oh my God, I'm like such like a
I was like, God, Sophie, I was like, I'm proud of you. Like, you brought up
such a film nerd.
I love it.
I'm such a, what do you call like a filmophile? What do you call someone who like is like really obsessed with like movies?
A cinephile?
A cinephile.
I call him a fucking nerd. That's what I call him. Fucking nerd.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, so you guys, I thought Thanksgiving was this week, but it's next week. So, but Sophie will be back next week. We're going to be doing 2 in a row. I'm also going to be in New York starting this weekend. So maybe I'll even pop by and see Sophie at some point. And
oh my God, husband. You guys, Ryan like will come to New York and then he'll like tell me like the last day he's there, and he's like, "Hey, by the way, I'm in New York."
Dude, I won't even take that for a second, because Sophie was going to every, like, literally, somebody was like, I'm getting married. Sophie's like, can I get an invite? Like, she was literally going to anybody that was married. She would ask for an invitation just to leave town for a weekend. Well, I don't feel bad about that. I mean, legitimately do not feel bad, because she knows I would see her at any point. But
I know.
Hopefully we can make it work. And I mean, by the way, it would be great. Maybe I'll start a new TikTok series where I just talk to Henry and give him advice from somebody who's failed at a lot of things about like, hey man, what were you thinking on that, the blender thing, man? You really messed up. Yeah. What's your thought process, dude? And maybe he can teach me about like finances and Bitcoin and stuff like that.
Yeah. Bitcoin.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you for being here. This cheered me up a little bit. But also go make sure you're subscribed to Snarkbait. Make sure you leave it a 5-star review. Also, leave a 5-star review for this podcast if you'd like to. And if you don't like us, or if you don't like Snarkbait, if you don't like this, just keep it moving. Like, I get it. I get it. But we love you.
I
And we
totally
hope you have
get
a great
it.
week.
I totally understand. Like, not for everyone.
No,
I'm
I mean,
retired too.
I think we're better than I think we're for the majority of people, right? A majority. maybe.
I would like to think so, but like,
I'm used to being an outsider though, so it's good. Okay, well, this is taking a very sad, dark turn, and we will talk to you guys next week. Bye.
bye.